Welcome to Season 3 of Skillcast, the podcast by the London Organisation of Skills Development. I'm Nurbanu, I'm your host. I'm beyond excited to kick off another season of powerful insights, real conversations, and game-changing skills. This season, we're leveling up, bringing you deeper conversations with experts and visionaries who are redefining success. From mindset shifts to must-have skills, we're unpacking what it really takes to stay ahead in an ever-evolving world. So if you're ready to learn, grow, and be inspired, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Welcome to Skillcast.
Yay! How are you?
I'm very well. Nice.
I love that we're bundled up a little bit.
I know. I love that.
It's cold out.
It is really cold, and you've dressed very snug and very stylish.
Thank you. I love fashion.
Go ahead and tell me more about yourself and bring in where your fashion sense comes from in that introduction.
Yes, actually, I love talking about this. It's one of my favorite subjects. My mom and dad are both really into style, and my dad actually, when I was growing up, won an award in Hong Kong as one of the 10 best dressed in Hong Kong. And my mom always taught me to look at magazines, be aware of what's the trends. And she actually was she owned a shop, clothing retail. So I've always grown up in kind of that environment to be aware of how you present yourself. My dad was very proper in making sure your buttons are, put together, and just he taught us to make sure you present well. And actually, it really goes with what I do as a speaker, right? I teach my clients to make sure that presentation is very important, because no matter if it's materialistic or surface level, or people actually do judge you by how you look. You can't even, try not to, right? People, we're humans. So as soon as you give that first impression, you can never get a first impression again. So I believe how you present yourself, it's very important. Plus, I actually really, truly have passion for clothing and shoes and all the accessories, especially when I'm in the cold weather. I get to wear my hats, my gloves, my scarves, all of that. So
I love it. It's so cute. I love it. But yeah, I think it's completely true, because the first thing someone looks at when they see you, they see what you're wearing,
yes.
And it is your first impression you've
Correct.
given. And if someone's walking with ripped trackies and like a jumper
really
that's
dirty
with
shoes,
dirty shit, it's that impression. It doesn't matter how successful they are or what they've got to offer, but the fact that you don't have the time to groom yourself or take care of yourself, that speaks a lot louder.
Yes.
About who you are as a person.
Right.
So no, I think that's really fascinating.
Thank you.
Aside from fashion, what else do you do?
Well, I do many things. I always start off with being a mother, because that is truly takes a lot of my time. When people ask you what you do, is actually what takes up your time, right? What takes up most of your time. So I don't like to call it a job, because it's really the things that I do during my time is what I love to do. So job has a connotation of you have to do it, and it's maybe a little bit negative. But so I produce movies. I am a financier. I'm an angel investor. So I help people make their dreams come true. So if you have an idea for a company, you people usually come to me and ask me to fund their company. So I'm an angel investor, seed level. I'm a motivational speaker, which is why I'm here. I spoke. And we're in Harvard. We're going to talk about that. Such a prestigious location and venue to speak at, and just so grateful to be doing what I do, impacting the world, inspiring lives. And then on top of that, I am a philanthropist, which means a lot of people don't really know what that word means. How do you do philanthropy? How are you a philanthropist? It just means you either volunteer your time, have conversations about the causes that you really love. And of course, you go out there to drum up attention about the cause. So let's say for my foundation, we talk about human trafficking, anti-human trafficking, which we're fighting human trafficking. So what does it mean to be a philanthropist? It's basically, I go out there and I advocate for it. And I have conversations about it, and then I make movies about it, and I put money into it. I donate. So all of that encompasses the word being a philanthropist.
It's all these small acts of kindness and these small acts of kindness that actually making a difference in the world. It's super powerful. And it's one of the things that we actually do at LOSC is actually we also do movies. We actually do short movies, short films. We produce these for people because we believe people have stories to tell. They have legacies that they carry. And people don't realize your stories that you have, the legacies that you carry, are actually adding value to other people's lives, adding to people's humanity. You might think, like, what do I have to offer? But people don't realize that everybody's got something divine.
That's right.
Have a divine spark in them. They always have something to add to someone else.
Absolutely.
And it's it's interesting.
That's why doing these podcasts, and we spoke about that a little bit earlier, it's so essential. And I know I could tell you love doing what you do. You love bringing out other people's stories. And I thank all the podcasters out there who organize logistics and making sure the guests arrive, and how long the punctuality of making sure that it doesn't go on. All of that encompasses doing a great podcast, and thank you for inviting me here to be one of your guests. And I think people who make a point of shining light on the other person, which you're shining light on me right now by letting me be here, it really helps the world at the end of the day. Whoever's listening right now, thank you for listening, and hopefully our words in exchange can actually spark something in somebody if they're in a car driving or if they are grocery shopping, walking down the street. It really is about sparking some inspiration and doing something to change their lives. And we don't even know what that would be, but we have faith that this will actually change someone's life, right?
Yeah, you never know. Like, people might think, well, what is having a conversation about fashion and impressions and stuff? Actually, it is first impressions, like you said, and the fact that giving back only gives you more opportunities to just keep getting more opportunities.
Yes.
And it's all about the element of abundance.
Right.
When you give, so a lot of people have this thing. I can't do philanthropy because financially I'm just not in that position to do philanthropy.
That's exactly why I said that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that think like that. But the thing is that you can start small and just give, because just by giving small, the universe will see that you want to give. As long as your intentions are clear and your intentions are pure, the fact that you want to give, he will ensure those resources are in place for you so you can keep going. And
Absolutely.
This is all about, when you have a little, he just keeps giving you, and it just multiplies and multiplies.
It goes to what I love to talk about, which is the abundance mindset versus the scarcity mindset. And if you, just like you said, if you give a little, and it doesn't have to be always monetarily, you can give a little with your thoughts, with your intentions, with just your energy. In fact, your energy is what giving makes the most impact, I think. When you come across somebody and you have that opportunity to talk to them, and it may be an exchange of 30 seconds, but if you give them that smile, give them that joy, and you are there to uplift them, which, it's not always about giving, but it's also about receiving, because I'm practicing that in my life right now, because I give so much. I am a little bit less comfortable with receiving. And so I'm practicing that in my life. I got to be okay with receiving. But, when you have that opportunity to exchange with someone, no matter if it's monetarily, with a gift, with something tangible, with energy, with words, with a hug, physical touch, you are always giving, and you just don't know whom you can impact. And hey, we talk about suicide nowadays so much. The percentage have gone up so much, and not to kind of turn it into a darker subject, but it's really true. You don't know whom you're contacting, you're talking to, who actually had a thought of maybe, ending their life, right? You just don't know. And if you can insert something, you may be that source of switching their brain to live a life. I mean, you just don't know. So they are all walking around us, And so, yeah, again, I don't want to change it to that subject, but truly this is what my essence, who I am. And I spoke about that yesterday when I was on the stage. Go out there and spread goodness. go out there, and my mantra is to spread gold dust. I'm always feeling like I'm a fairy and I have this wand, and why not? I'm going to give everybody a wand. Everybody listening, you imagine you have a wand in your hand, and anywhere you go, you can just ding like that. Even if you're having a bad day, you have something good to give somebody else. So, I mean, I could talk about this subject for a long time.
So tell me about the mindset thing. You make it sound so easy about everybody imagine having a magic wand and just giving, but obviously things happen in people's lives. So I'm very, very positive. But there are people that I know that one small thing that happens, one small error that happens in their life, and they get really anxious, really upset about it, and then next thing you know, another issue has arisen, and it becomes a knock-on effect.
Yes.
And I really believe people whose thoughts and intentions are very anxious, are from that scarcity mindset that you mentioned, tend to have that domino effect. But then people who are positive are very much with it. They tend to keep seeing a domino effect in that direction. So the people on the more darker side of the spectrum, how can we get them to the more brighter side?
Oh, I love that question, and I have all the answers for it. So take notes. Okay, first, and I really love talking about this inner working of your mind, and how do you get to a point where you can feel good about holding that wand, right? It begins with learning. Okay, so you can pick maybe even one of these plethora of ideas that I'm going to throw at you. One is to definitely start meditating. Meditating doesn't mean you have to sit there and sit still. Meditating could be just be alone and be in silence. You could be walking around in your kitchen doing things, but be mindful of what you're thinking. So be more and more present to your thoughts. And as soon as you catch yourself thinking negatively about something, actually say in your head or out loud, cancel, 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 like 3 times. Cancel, cancel, cancel. And I know this might be woo-woo for some of you who've never even gone into this realm, but trust me, the more you practice spirituality, it really will manifest things. So that's one way, meditating. Now you can sit still and close your eyes and train yourself to really be present to your thoughts. Now, when you think about meditating, you close your eyes, or you're walking around in your kitchen, or you're cleaning up your house or whatever, and you find yourself, oh my gosh, whenever you have any negative talks, cancel. No, try to turn it into the positive. So that's one way. The other way would be, of course, reading books that are of the educational factor of how to think positively, like Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. Think about that title. That is one of the most sold books in the whole wide world for 100 years. In fact, it's the number 2 most sold book. Number 1 is the Bible. Number 2 is the most sold book. So read it. If you don't like to read, listen to it. And listen to it in increments. That's another tip that I can give you. Thirdly, you have to feel good about yourself, meaning nutrition, and exercise. That's common sense. That's something that we all talk about all the time. But do you actually practice it? Are you mindful of eating junk food? Don't not let yourself eat junk food completely, because then you are depriving yourself. But are you mindful of how much do you eat? How much do you drink alcohol? How much grease you consume? All of that comes into play for your well-being, mindset, and also for your body and soul. You could, obviously, physical activity is very important. These are like 4 already. I've given you tips. Now, the 5th one, I would say, really think about, okay, this might be really woo-woo for some, but I would say before you go to sleep, turn on some high-frequency music. Actually, it's not even music. Music is sounds, right? So turn on some high-frequency sounds.
So like solfeggio frequencies?
Yeah, literally, you go to YouTube. All you have to plug in is high-frequency sounds. And you will just press play, turn off your lights, you can have a candle, whatever it is, you can lie in bed, but be conscious. You're not falling asleep right away. You want to be conscious at least for a few minutes before you go into sleep. So you want to be conscious, listening intently to those sounds, and this is a whole other realm that you could really study. And knowing that sounds can heal you. and think about good things. Think about things that you want to invite into your life. So for me, it would have been, let's say last week, I would turn it on. I would have great lighting. My temperature is good. I'm feeling good in my pajamas. Like all the things that make you feel good, you do, right? You've brushed your teeth already. You've all said you feel really relaxed. You go into bed, you lie there, you put on the frequency music and high frequency music, and then you just think about what you want to invite. Thank God or thank universe, if you don't believe in God. Thank the universe in what goodness you already have in your life. So gratitude is huge when it comes to manifestation. And by the way, this is my favorite topic, so I'm so happy with manifestation. I am so good at manifesting. It's because of the karma. Like you said, I compound my goodness, and every time I walk out, I wake up, I look at my text, oh my God, I just thought of this person. This person has not been in my brain for maybe the last 5 to 8 months, and I happen to this person or he or she happened to pop in my brain, boom, within 24 hours, maybe even now, within the few hours, they would be texting me. It's happened so much in the last month for me that I'm like, oh my God, those are signs that I am walking my path. And so anyway, take any one of those. I mean, I have so many more that I could give you, but I don't want to kind of bombard this podcast with just this. But take any one of those things that I told you, write in a journal. Just, I am thankful. 5 things. Today, I was thankful for seeing my daughter on stage. Today, I was thankful for having nothing happen that was bad. Today, I was thankful for that first bite of vanilla ice cream. Today, I was thankful for that person in the grocery store smiling at me. And one last one today, I'm thankful for being healthy and happy and anything like that. Write it down every single day and just watch your life change. I promise you, it will start evolving. And you can contact me and let me know.
Definitely. Yes. So then let's go a little bit more about your journey, about where this mindset comes, because obviously were you born with this kind of mindset, or was there a point in your life where you went to a really low point in your life where you think, no, I can't be like this anymore. I need to get my frequency up. I need to get my energy up. Mm-hmm. Where was it? How did it start?
Believe it or not, you are actually looking at my lowest part of my life right now. And I still can sit here with you. I could literally burst into tears any minute because of the kind of things that I'm working through in my life, personal life right now. And so, that's why I'm giving you hope, anybody who's listening, that even if I'm at my lowest, I can sound so happy because I am able to see that my lowest is actually a journey that I'm going through in order to get to that light, that I know it's there. I have the faith that my journey is about to begin again. Like I'm beginning a whole new stage of my life. So, yes, in my personal life, it's been hell. And I'm just working through a lot of things. So, to answer your question is, when does that really begin? I think it began with me just obviously having great parents who taught me really, really staple stuff that I need to work on every single day in my life. Beginning with respect for other people, no matter what you see, good or bad, try to be positive about it, and surrounding myself with people who are uplifting and can help me see the goodness in my life, because obviously I sound very positive. Of course I have moments where I'm negative too, because I am a human just like anybody else, right? And I have moments where I'm like, oh, and I want to swear, and I want to just like, what is going on? Why is my life not going the way, And so I just flip the switch. I flip the switch and I say, you have the power to change it for yourself by controlling your mind. First off, you can think, it's really not that bad. There are people who are suffering, have no food. There are people who are suffering, who are dying because of cancer. Or, there are people who are way worse than you. So your problem is not that big, and it's not like somebody died. Let's say I'm so late for a podcast, let's just say. For a normal person who likes to be on time, which I am, it would be like, oh my God, if you are a negative person, your thoughts would be, oh my God, I'm going to be so late. And the Uber driver didn't, and you could blame every single thing that happened. Oh my God, this person called me, my lawyer, blah, blah, blah. And all of those things you can dramatize it in your own head.
You create a bigger scene than it actually really is.
That's right. And it doesn't have to be this way. It's just like, okay, let's just take a deep breath. Nobody died. We are good, and it's like, just communicate. At the end of the day, when something bad, you just have to communicate. Sorry, I'm going to be running late. There's nothing I could do. The Uber driver, you can have you just say sorry. You say sorry, and everybody knows, because everybody's gone through that part as well, right? So I hope that answers your question, but yeah.
Is it the first time you're going through a low patch in your life, or has it happened previously as well?
Oh, it has. I mean, we all go through low patches in our life. This one would be probably the highlight of the low patches in my life.
Okay. So the other low patch that you went through, what was it?
Yeah, I will share that with you. Yeah, 15 years old, I was encouraged to go apply for a music scholarship. So I studied music, drama and English in my A-levels. I grew up in England, so I did the A-level system.
Oh, that's where your accent is from, because it's a bit of a cocktail.
Yes, I love that. It's a cocktail. I call it the international accent. You can't quite place where So I'm from Hong Kong. Let's rewind.
I got that in the initial, like when you started, when you said you're from. So there's definitely something Oriental going on.
Yes, well, Hong Kong was a British colony before 1997. So I was born in Hong Kong, raised in England. And so from the age of 9 to 18, I was in England. So the big patch of where I did my education, I did it in a boarding school, all-girls boarding school, royal boarding school, actually, in England, called Benenden. And I'm very proud of that school. And that's where I learned my very posh English. But then, of course, I went to America at the age of 18. And I've been there for 3 decades now, because I'm 48, and I'm not afraid to tell you that.
I love that.
3 decades of American English. So, of course, my English is more Americanized. And the vocabulary I use is probably more towards American English. But I still have my very foundation of British English there. But why were we on this subject? What did you ask me earlier that we talked about the education?
15-year-old.
Yeah, 15. Okay, so I was in Benenden, 15-year-old, sixth form, and studying music. And I was very good at my music. I was the leader of the orchestra. I played the violin. I was the school pianist. I played the piano. I played the hymns every morning for the school to sing. The school was about 313 students or something like that. And I was in the choir and the madrigals. I did everything music and A-level music. So I thought, hey, it would be great to save my parents some money. And well, obviously they were the impetus of me applying for the music scholarship. And out of 3 students only, I was pretty sure, I had the confidence to perform my pieces. And no, the only person that didn't get the scholarship was me. Out of the 3, the other 2 actually got the scholarship. So that was a very low point of my life, that I learned that, I wouldn't be able to get everything I want in life. And
maybe that path just wasn't for you, and something better was waiting at that time.
Well, it was the lesson that I learned, that I think, the first failures are good, by the way. Just anybody who is a successful person knows that failures are actually really a part of a successful person's life.
I rather fail. I don't like being told what to do. Yeah. So when someone tells me you can't do something, I still want to do it. And I will still do it. And if I fail, I'm like, cool, I failed. I failed. I'm accountable for the failure, and I learned something from this experience. I'm not going to say, and when people say, I told you to listen to me, I told you not to, but whereas I'm like, it's fine. I did it. I experienced it. I've learned. And if you had told me not to, you would have wrapped me in a cotton wool, and I never would have learned. And all I would have done is given you saying,
I wish I'd done it. And
Yes,
so
that's worse.
I'd rather do it than not do it.
Absolutely.
Like you said, like you applied for the scholarship. If you had been told you're probably not going to get it, these are better candidates,
Yes.
and would have wrapped you and said everything's going to be okay. There's no point. If they had deterred you from it and you hadn't applied, you would have always felt, I wish I'd applied.
Yeah, and you don't know.
Exactly.
You just don't know. And I would really love to talk about this in terms of love relationships. Just a side note, because I'm prioritizing my life right now. Yeah. Love relationships are my priority. So I want to apply that to anybody who's listening, who is in a relationship. Don't hold back your love. People do that a lot. And even if they know that the person they're dating is not their partner for life, don't hold back. Because I think that with anything you do, and in this case, we're talking about love relationships, if you actually show your full self and be open to showing the other person how you can love fully, right? Then you know if it ends, then you gave it your all, right? If you held back and you're like, well, I kind of didn't want to say I love you back because I'm fear of this and I'm afraid of that. And, I think that one of the reasons with my marriage that's failing right now, which is why I'm going through, it's because of holding back, and I want just anybody listening, because this is so important, because in a way, yes, we talk about money, we talk about how we make money, or we talk about professions, because podcast is more professional, but I actually really love to talk about personal stuff, because that is really our foundation of how we present ourselves to the world.
And it's relatable to the general population.
Yes.
Why do you want to just talk about professional stuff?
No,
when
exactly.
you go personal, people really learn real insights with real people.
That's
going through real experiences.
Yeah, and with my titles, and the thing is, as I'm climbing the ladder myself, and I'm Dame Didi Wong, and I'm this successful, this, that, and the other, I actually love presenting myself truly as just a woman. I'm a mother, I'm a woman, I'm the behind the scenes stuff first. Because if you love my heart, if you come to me and you talk to me, you think you're sitting down with me in a podcast, we're talking about my motivational speaking, my angel investing, and what company. But actually, if we start off talking about the humanity of who we are, so we connect as two minority women sitting here, then you will like me more, and then our conversation would just sound better.
Exactly.
Right?
And I think in all relationships, like you're saying, I think it's both communication and being open as well. Bit of both. So there was actually a podcast I was listening to very, very recently. I think I've mentioned this story before. It was a husband. I don't know if they were married or not, but they were a couple together, and they went to see a marriage therapist. And they went to the therapist. The male partner goes to the therapist. I love my wife, but I'm having an affair. And the therapist goes, well, also what would go to the wife and the woman partner, saying, what do you have to say to this? How do you feel about this? And she basically just said, I feel, she was like, well, he's having an affair, I guess we should separate. But obviously he loves her, and she said, yeah, he loves me. So they actually went a little bit deeper, and you come to learn in this relationship, they've got a disabled child together. He supported her with an alcoholic brother that she had who went into prison, and they went through a financial downturn together. They've been through a lot together in their life, and the therapist goes, is this one small mistake big enough to end an entire relationship? And she thought about it. She was like, no, not really, but this is a sin. Right. And then she digs a little bit deeper and finds out the reason why he was having an affair. It was because she was so wrapped up in her life, so busy in everything he's doing, she wasn't giving him the attention. It was a bid for attention. Yes. And that's all it was.
Wow.
And that's in that moment she said to him, like, I'm warning you now, don't make a mistake again. You know why this happened. Right. And now you're able to have this conversation and be open about it. Now you can be more aware of what's going on.
Ooh.
In your life.
You are touching me with the subject.
It's powerful, and it really is just that open conversation.
Yes, which, oh my gosh, that is why I'm here in this podcast. So see, this is the magic. This is the magic of having conversations and being open and being vulnerable. And sharing people's stories, sharing what that story spoke to you, you sharing it with me had a profound effect on me, resulting in tears. And all of that really comes into play when you change people's lives. And so you actually changed my life by just sharing me that story, because something you said is very parallel to what I'm going through. And so this is the power. I love it. And let's turn it back to positive. This is so amazing that we're sharing.
You're sharing, learning of each other. Because it's all about growing and being the best version of ourselves.
Absolutely.
We are a best version of ourselves. You're very confident. You've got so much going on in your life. And I think through this conversation, you've just realized, I think you just had a little bit of a light bulb.
Yes,
moment.
I did.
Yeah.
And that is why I am here.
And the thing is that not everyone's very open-minded about how they perceive. Some people just see the small image and like, this is just a small thing, but whereas other people who have that mindset of abundance, which you do, and you see the bigger picture, and that's basically what it is. It really is about looking at things from perspective.
Absolutely. And being able to, as a producer, being able to pan out. I kind of see it always as a film.
See the full movie,
and
right?
don't close up always.
Not just the trailer.
Yes, and then kind of wide shot pan out to look at the big picture. You said one thing, the one thing that really got me was like, does that one mistake erase years of all the things that they had to work through, right? And no, absolutely should not. But can you be open-minded enough? Or are you so stubborn in your head, and anybody who's going through this, are you so stubborn that you can't overcome one and forgive one mistake of somebody, because we're human, right? To completely turn the relationship around, which is what I'm experiencing right now. And that's why I'm so touched with this. And yesterday, and it was so crazy, because yesterday one of the attendees actually came up to me and gave me a forgiveness book. It was just really crazy. It's almost like she saw what was going, and I am bubbly, positive, happy. I'm like a ball of fire. I go into the room and I give it my all to my audience, and it was such an amazing experience standing, speaking at Harvard. But that audience member probably felt me, and because she's very spiritual.
Yeah, there was actually a book. So it was a book that the LOSD did. So we love to do group publications, and the book that we did last was called the Book of Forgiveness. Yes. So they got 24 different 24 people together, and they all wrote a small chapter on forgiveness, on how they forgave. Goodness. And this year, I believe you may have missed this, so this was actually on Saturday, we did a launch of a book of gratitude.
Love it.
And we do this small little, little combination of books. It's just something fun, your contribution, you're part of a bigger community.
Right.
And that's why we do it. And we can all learn from each other, for sure. And
I think that's like a mic drop. Let's end the podcast right here. We're good to go.
We're amazing.
You got the nugget.
You know what really got to me right now is 1 minute you've literally gone through an emotional journey. You came on super high. You're super high with lots of high energy. You went low, and now you've come back high.
Yes.
And I think this is a really beautiful point.
It is a great journey.
To come to an end, to say like life is a journey.
That's right.
And there's so many more layers. Don't judge a book by its cover. You don't know what you're going through. And what you said in the beginning is, you don't know someone's life. Just be kind. Yes. That small act of kindness, that could go a long way, especially when we don't know what happens behind.
Absolutely.
Just being cautious, mindful, and just being good. Being a good human, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. Thank you so much.